Hello farmers, welcome back to East Vineland. Just making sure Frank Jr. is doing well in the class. He is putting down barley in this field right here. As you can see, barley is growing. So it says the weeds will be gone for about a day or so until the crops start growing back. Then we'll come back in here with a See and Spot sprayer and take care of those and put down some nitrogen probably when the crops get a little bit taller, but not going to worry about it too much right now. So yeah, we're going to be putting barley in these two fields right here. I did get all the fertilizing contracts that I took done. That's why we're up to about $625,000. So that is looking good money-wise. I went around the fields and looked at the crop rotation to figure out what we're doing. This field here will be corn. Can't plant corn until next month of April, but we can plant sugar beet today, and that's what the other two fields are going to be right over there, and the newest one way over there. And for that, we need the T8, which is parked over here. I made sure it was repaired and fully fueled when I got it all set. But when I grabbed the John Deere planter, I got to bring that over. We bought that on the used department, so I can't remember if I repaired it when I bought it or if I didn't. So let's go check on that, see if it's fully repaired. Then we'll fill up with some seed and start planting some sugar beet, so we can have a really good harvest this fall, and our fuel refinery hopefully will produce quite a bit more than it has in previous seasons. I think also today we're going to be putting down the meat market. We do have 80 pigs in our pen, so it's getting almost full, but I think it is time to maybe put that production on down and maybe bring 10 of our oldest pigs on down, just to see what it's going to be doing or what the meat market actually requires, how long it's going to take to produce. I don't even know if it can even take 10 pigs. I'm not even sure what the limit is on it. Am I actually close enough to fill this up with seed? Let's see. I guess I am. Alright, so that was $2,500, and that holds 3,500 liters of seed. Not a whole lot, but it's not too bad. We'll see how much seed it takes when we plant down sugar beet, which I should change that over because I don't want to plant, well, it'll tell me I can't plant corn. Sunflower, soybean, sugar beet, that's what we want. And sugar beet will not be ready, I think, until October. So we got plenty of time to wait for a chance for that machine to come up in the used department. It's not really that expensive. I can buy the base root crop harvester for $250,000, and the header would be $50,000. So we're looking at $300,000 for a brand new one if everything's baseline. So overall, not too bad. All right, let's go ahead and put this down here. And let's go ahead and get the sugar beet on in. I'm going to hit that, aren't I? Nope, we're going right on through. Okay, we're okay. I did not know that the ridge markers stick out that far, but they do. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm planting on fields that are kind of tight. But overall, we're doing pretty good here. Yeah, so this field here is sugar beet. The field in front of us, sugar beet. But the other thing we will need to purchase when we go harvesting is I need a trailer or some kind of, I think I can get a trailer. There's different forms of putting sugar beet into a trailer from the sugar beet cutter pack, because I can only put cut sugar beet into the fuel refinery. So we're going to have to buy ourselves a trailer. I think I found one for like $50,000 that can hold about 25,000 liters. So since we're not transporting it too far, that's not too bad. Yeah, it's not going to take me long to get these fields planted. So look at the crop rotation. If I remember correctly, this field here should give us a score of 110% on the crop rotation for sugar beet. And I think same thing for the field behind us. I think the corn, the field I said for corn is like 105%. And I think the barley is 110% on the crop rotation. As for the small field down below, I don't think I'm going to touch it anymore. That's where the meat market's going to be going here in a little while. So I think we're just going to go ahead and kind of delete the field, and we'll be putting down like production buildings down there. I mean, I don't want to get heavy into production buildings. It's the meat market. I may put something else down there in the future. Maybe greenhouses, or I don't know. But that field's going to be way too small for what we're doing here in the farm now. I mean, the field was kind of small to begin with, but that's where we started. We had to start somewhere, and that's kind of where we started for our first harvesting field. But now, after we put the meat market down, it's going to take up most of that field, like half the field, and the other half of the field, this won't be worth going on down and harvesting any crops into it. And let me just get on out, because they'll tell me in the crop rotation, I do believe. Crop rotation is good. Actually, this shows 100%. I thought this one was 110. I think the max you can get is 115 of the crop rotation. At least when you look at the crop rotation chart, it'll say like 1.15. To me, I think that's 115%. So I don't know if that equals to what the chart should say out here. It should, but that doesn't mean it actually does. So how much sugar beet when you get this fall, I don't even know where to guess. But it should be quite a bit. And that's what we're hoping for. And all this will go into the fuel refinery. Don't really need a silo by then. I don't think we're going to get 1 million liters. That's what the fuel refinery can hold for sugar beet. If I get it more than 1 million liters, that's great. We'll just need a silo, or I guess we could just put it on the ground in the meantime. But we'll worry about that when we get there. The silo is not as expensive as I originally thought. Figured that out a few episodes ago. I thought the silo was like $500,000 or more. But if I buy the smallest one, it's like 150,000. And that can hold like 2 million liters of crop. So we should be able to afford it by then. Now hopefully Frank Jr. can finish that whole big field now with 1 container of seed. I think he'll be able to, because I think I did those 2 fields last year with 1 container. Although we did merge them, there was a small strip in between. So I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. So we're not going through that much seed here currently. I really haven't been keeping track of the variable seed rate on top. Right now it's this normal soil. So normal planting of seed. Now the one thing I just have to keep in mind, now that I'm doing sugar beet, I will have to plow the fields next year that has root crop into it. Because with root crop, you always got to plow a field. Well, they recommend that you plow the field. You don't have to, but they definitely recommend plowing the field after root crop has been in there. I think the same thing kind of goes for corn. Or did they remove corn? I know a lot of farmers nowadays do not plow or even cultivate the fields when they do corn. But back in the day, it used to be always plow your field with corn. Alright, so this is field number 1 done-ish. Almost there. And we'll go around sometime in June and fertilize our fields. But as soon as the weeds grow and the crop hits the first growth stage, we'll come in here and do the see and spot spray and get rid of all the weeds. But the later I can go on the nitrogen, the better, because it'll be closer to what the nitrogen needs to be. Because crops, every time they grow, will take nitrogen out of the field. So if you're doing precision farming, and you're putting the nitrogen down, I mean, I can come here and spread nitrogen on this field now, and it's going to, precision farming will put down the correct amount of fertilizer, but when the crops grow, it's going to absorb some of that fertilizer, so then you're not where the goal's going to be, so you have to like kind of re-fertilize. This little piece right here. Alright, so I didn't go through that much seed. I thought I was going to have to go like refill. When I saw only like, what was it, 3,500 liters of seed in there. I was thinking I might have to refill. Alright, let's see. The score on this field is kind of hurting me a little bit on my precision farming. But this will be the first full year that I've had in it. So 65. So let's see. The second, third, and last. The tillage, the pH value, and weed control. All make sense. That tillage score should go up. So we're at 65 right now. So me just going into the field here. No, I don't want to fold that on up. Sorry. Let's put it down. And almost right away. It's going to change right away. I guess not. I thought it would. Oh well. It'll change at some point. As long as our precision farming score is in the mid-80s and upwards, I'm okay with that. It's always going to keep on changing just because we're going to keep buying more and more fields. And every time I buy a field, that score is going to be terrible on it, so I can take care of it. So we'll be using the planter in April as well for the corn. And all the corn will be going down to the grain mill to make cracked corn. I won't need that much corn. As we're seeing, our chicken coop has been full for quite a while. And I'm not going through that much feed on cracked corn. So we'll still bring it down there to be processed in the cracked corn. Because I'll get more money for it that way. So we'll probably sell some of that cracked corn. I'm not going to make this corner. Nope. And I'm going to make the corner barely. Yep, we're fine. We're good. So as each year progresses, we're doing that much better on the farm money-wise. Wasn't that many episodes ago when I said, yeah, we're going to need $700,000 for the meat market and the root crop harvester and the header. It's like, yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult, but I thought it would take us longer to get there. But here we are at $625,000 in the month of March. But getting all those fertilizing contracts done, I don't know how many it was. It was like maybe 8 or 9 of them, it seemed like. It gave me some more discounts with some other farmers. So when we want to buy some more land, I'll get a one-time discount with that farmer. So up to 20, or is it up to 30% off? I forgot now. I think it's up to 30% off is max. And on East Vineland, for how much the fields go for, 30% is quite a bit. But we're getting to the point of, once we buy the root crop harvester, we pretty much got everything that we technically need for the farm as far as tractors and implements go. I might be forgetting a couple things here and there. But as for the farm, yeah, we could use a couple more sheds. Well, we'll be putting down a big shed in the near future, hopefully. And a silo, and that's not going to be that expensive. Maybe by the time the end of harvest this year and we get into next winter, we'll have the cash to do all that. Of course, with the contracts coming up in June, that's when we'll start harvesting some fields again. And of course, all the straw we get out the fields definitely pays off. And there is a pile of stones there that I miss. Oh well. And another pile of stones. 2 piles of stones in that corner. I didn't check up on my workers too well in that corner, apparently. Well, the good news is we're not having any problems pulling the planter with the T8. I think the planter requires 350, and I think the engine's at 358 horsepower. So, yeah, technically we meet the requirements, but if we had to go up a steep hill or something like that, could slow it or bog it down a little bit. And if it was a problem, it wouldn't have been a big deal because we could always upgrade the engine in the T8. All right, so how are we doing in this field here? Crop rotation. Okay, so the crop rotation in this field is 115%. So I misremembered about that field over there. So this is 115%. But the one thing that's going to be certain for next year, I'm pretty sure if it's like 19 with seasons and crop rotation, putting a root crop in the same field over and over again is not good at all. The yield's going to go down quite a bit. So it's not like the fields that we're putting sugar beet in. It's like, well, we'll just keep planting sugar beet here. Yeah, we're not going to want to do that next year. So hopefully we can get a good rotation with the fields that we have. And once I figure out the rotation for the corn, sugar beet, and a cereal crop for the chickens, we'll be good to go. And once we get a good amount of fields, we can always then start planting other crop rather than the ones that we're planting this season. Part of me would like to get one of those supply and transport contracts done, but they're always asking for so much of a certain product, and we just don't have that yet. If you're wondering what I'm talking about in contracts, you can get, and I really haven't used it yet, but it's called supply and transport contracts, and they will demand, so like right here, they want 235,000 liters of sunflower. You do actually earn more. So if I were to just bring sunflower down to the I'll take it silo, if I were to deliver that, I'd probably get maybe like 180,000, but he's giving me a bonus of 202. But then again, right now, I don't think it's probably a good time of year to be selling the sunflowers, so the time of the year, it'd be better to hold your crop until it's peak season. So like when I was selling silage in January, I did double check the supply and transport to see if anyone was looking for silage, because I would have got a bigger bonus than rather than selling it at where we did. I got stones in this corner as well. Well, I have to, well, it ain't going to matter. I was going to say, well, I'll have to pick up those stones next year, but being sugar beet, I'm going to have to plow the field because it's a root crop, so I'm going to get stones everywhere again. But since we got limited stones in the field, it's not going to bother us too much. I just remember testing the stones back when we were on Elm Creek at the very beginning to see how much damage it did to our equipment. It wasn't that bad. I mean, yeah, it was more than normal, but it wasn't so much. It was like, yeah, I should do something with the stones. Unless they've changed it since then. It's been a year, so I don't know if they've adjusted it or not. Just like on the map that we're playing on now, the Cylindra, I turned stones off. Stones, of course, were interesting when Farming Simulator 22 came out, so I rolled with it. But it's getting to the point now, it's like, it's kind of, I mean, some people can say that job to me, it just seems repetitive. But I mean, a lot of jobs can be considered that way. I mean, we plant every year, we harvest every year. So picking stones every year. There's a pile of stones here as well. What the heck, man? But doing stones just seems to take longer, and it's just a job that's like, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. So I may not be doing stones again unless they change something on it. We'll try it out, but usually I run with everything on. But on Cylindra, I turned off stones, and I also turned off weeds as well. I also just realized I kind of forgot to check to see if this was repaired, but I can tell that it wasn't, talking about the planter. Because the T8 was fully repaired. If I look over at the repair status, we're kind of like near halfway down. So I'm going to say this planter is in kind of bad shape. So I need to go ahead and repair that. So I might be using more seed than is intended because the planter is not in great shape. So I'll try to get it fixed if I can remember in the next 3 minutes to do so. That way when I plant tomorrow with corn, we'll do all right. And I don't think I'm going to have to go refill on seed either. I thought I was going to have to. But this one is doing rather well. I think shooting for 750,000 liters of sugar beet off the 2 fields, is that going to be what we're thinking here? I mean, sugar beet does yield quite a bit, and with a crop rotation giving us 115% on this field, and after I get it fertilized, we know the pH value is good. Should be a very good yield on both fields. And now that should supply us with enough pig food for 100 pigs. And also give us enough compost to sell and get some money off of. Of course, plenty of diesel, and we can start storing some diesel in our tanker. And also start selling some as well. Wish the birds would get out of my seed here. The one thing I'll be interested in seeing, and maybe I'll check here in just a moment, even though this is the first month that we can plant sugar beet, since this year we'll be buying the harvester and header, I should be able to do all the sugar beet contracts on the map and make out like a bandit, because it's not going to take me as long as the game thinks it should, because we're going to be rocking a 16.5 meter wide header. So I wonder how many people are going to be planting sugar beet now. Let's go ahead and actually check the map currently, see what's going on. Because there's hardly any contracts going on. Oh, so there's a sugar beet field right next to us. Field number 2 is sugar beet. We got some sugar beet fields down here. Small one over here. Yep, so like field number 2, I would like to grab that one if I could in the fall. These down here, probably not too bad to grab. I mean, we'll whip those out in no time, but none of the big fields are sugar beet. But that's alright. Alright, so while it's on my brain, I'm going to drive over to the workshop, and I need to repair the planter, because that's going to be, it's going to be in kind of bad shape, I think. See, how is Frank Jr. getting along? Actually, he is almost done. I guess the good thing about putting lime down when you got workers in the field, you can kind of see the spots that they missed. But he's almost done. Not too bad. So I'll be interested to see how our header works this year. But you know, when you're far enough away, you can actually see that does slope quite a bit. So a 60 meter wide header, I probably should be going from right to left or left to right. The one spot that didn't make sense was over here by the barn. That is relatively flat. So we'll see how the air ride system does, because we upgraded our header after I harvested that field. Alright, let me pull in here. The T8 should be more than fine. But the planter is going to need some repair, I assume. It's not too bad, actually. I thought it'd be worse than that. $1,500 repair, but at least we'll get it repaired. So it has almost 40 hours on it. So the previous owners did use it quite a bit. And while I'm thinking about it, let me go over to here and we'll fill this on up. Apparently Frank Jr. is done. Yeah, so that drill, even though it's only a 6 meter wide drill, that is still doing the job at a relatively good pace. Alright, close that on up. Get that all set for next month. For corn. Go ahead and just drop this off right here for now. Okay, turn the beacons off. Let's teleport over to the class and oh, did you miss any big spots? You know, I'm not worried about little tiny spots. But there were a few up here I think I'll grab. Oh yeah, we still got Still got like 44% amount of seed in here. Yeah, the corners, you can never expect coarse play to get the corners. Although there's probably some settings that you pros have been using that get the corners better than what my setup is. And hopefully if I'm right here... Yeah, so crop rotation, this one's 110%. So, not too bad. Yeah, not too worried about those little corners. I will come down and get this one down here because it's going to bother me if I don't. And swing it around and drop it. Alright, I'm going to bring this on in here because I can't remember if I repaired this last year or not. But I think I did because I know the class has got repaired. And overall the repair status on both isn't too bad. Yep, we'll repair. And we'll just repair this while we're here as well, I guess. And you know what? I'm going to leave this right here. I was going to go up and wash it, but I think it's time we put down a washing station down here. So this is like one of the things I wanted to put down here. It's going to be kind of on the small side. But before we get that far, let's go ahead and do the big expense. We're going to go in here. Well, not the sale page, but it's a good idea to check on that every once in a while. We'll go into construction. Alright, we need to zip on down to our small field. There's the grass field, and here we are. Alright, we want to go to productions. And it shouldn't be that hard to find, because I think it says meat right on it somewhere. Does it not? Yep, meat. There we go. Loading item. That's taking a second. Let's see. How do I want to put it here? I don't know where things are going to spawn. Oh, before I do this, though, I want to go ahead and landscape. And actually, I want to do painting. I think in here, I want to do concrete because it's a production building. And I want to make sure we get rid of our field. Because if I don't, precision farming may see the field underneath the factory. And may cause some problems, so let's go ahead and get rid of it. Alright, may have to... Interesting. We know we own that, so why can't I... Alright, how about if I go... Okay. Some reason won't let me paint that, but that's fine. Whatever. Back to productions. Way at the end, it seemed like it was. Alright, probably need to level this out. I didn't realize the field was that unlevel. Landscaping. And level. I don't know if I placed it if it would level it the way I wanted it to, but I try to remember. I go all the way back to when landscaping first came in 19. Finding out leveling it before you place down is always a good practice to be in. Alright, production. Scroll down again. Now, the only thing is, I'm not really sure I know where things spawn. Let's see, where is... I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter where the front of the building is because we're not really facing the main road. I think I'm going to put it in like this. I don't know why, but it looks kind of weird on the map. It looks like one side's higher than the other. It looks like a lot of things are floating for some reason. Alright, probably one thing I should do is, let me save the game just to be sure. And if we don't like it, well, I can always load it back in. Ah, there, I can see where things spawn on the right-hand side. Okay. Yeah, I can't really see what's on the concrete, but I saw the markings when I went over a field on the right-hand side. So let's just go ahead and put it down like that. And looks like I changed it to asphalt. Can I visit that, or am I going to scroll on down there with the T8? But I'll tell you what we're going to do. If we're going to go on down there, let's go ahead and grab our animal trailer, which is in here at an awkward angle. Yeah, this will be parked in our new barn eventually. Yeah. Can I get it around that post? There we go. Alright, let's go pick up our 10 most mature pigs. I don't think the production building's going to know the difference between a mature pig and a piglet, but we will just keep grabbing the more expensive ones, I guess, and bring them on down. So it'll be like the first 10 that we had. I think it's going to be like right about here. It is. These ones right here, 1,015. And we'll load all 10. Move the trailer. Yes. I don't care if they're getting ready to reproduce, but that's fine. Of course, they may not think so, but for them, it's going to be fine. Well, for us, it's going to be fine, I should say. Not them. Let me turn on my beacons. Now, we'll check the production building here in just a moment. I don't know if there's a difference between the cows. I think you can deliver cows and pigs here. So I don't know if there's a difference of what we can make with the cows and pigs. It's been a while since I actually looked at this production building. If you're wondering where to get this, this is not on the Giants Hub. I'm not actually going to put a link down either because I don't know if I got it officially from the mod maker themselves. But if you just search Farming Simulator 22 meat production building, it's on plenty of third-party sites. I think I may have got it from the original mod author. I sent them an email and didn't get a reply, so I don't know if I did or didn't. Let's see here. So I'm not really sure where we got to drop it off. I see markers over there. Probably the best thing I should do in a situation like this is let's turn on the interactive zone markers. Yeah, that truck seems to be floating here. The building is down on the ground. No, okay, it looked like it was floating. It's not. That's the way the asphalt makes it look. Alright, so it looks like the drop-off is actually over here. Okay, so it's kind of like the livestock market if you were buying livestock. So right here, open animal dialogue, which we want to do. Click on that. Unload animals. Do you want to unload 10 animals to production? Yes. Alright, so now we'll just actually just walk over here. Open production menu. What's my other options? Storage is empty. Open production menu. Yeah, open production menu. All right, so here we are. So we can produce meat, pork chops. Let's see. So we can't do beef tips because that's for cows. Jambon, I've been told this is a French thing. Not really sure what it is. Of course, we can do pork chops. We can't do meat. So we can do pork chops in Jambon. Wait, do I need water for any of them? No, I don't. I was like, I see there's water here, so I would need water for the beef tripe and the meat. So, let's see here. 3 pigs equals 600 liters of pork chops and 700 liters of... So, I'm not going to have that many cycles. I unloaded 10 liters of pigs, apparently. Well, we'll see what comes out, I guess, right? So let's go ahead and we'll turn on pork chops. And we'll turn on that right there. And already it says... Okay, we're making it. I don't think it's going to be a big money production building, but I wasn't sure until we actually get it going. But the pigs will reproduce rather quickly, and once we get the pigs really up and running, we'll see how it goes. Actually, let me go ahead and hide the inactive ones. Storing and storing. I mean, I guess we'll see how it goes. So wait, both of them are cycling. This said 3 pigs. This said 3 pigs. It's only taken 1 out of the 10 liters that we had. Yeah, we'll just let it run and see what happens. Shows pallets here, so I'm guessing this is where everything spawns. And we won't know until we get a lot of production out of here. Nope, that's not what I want. Let me just double check on to see exactly when is the best time to sell this stuff. If I can find it here. Pork chops. Well, the price doesn't vary that much, but then again, we just barely put the building down, so I mean, the low point is 314, the high point is 324. 314, 330, so it might be the bad time of the year, so I may have to hold on to it for a while, but we do have a place to sell it, which is the silo that I put down by the Southern Grain, so we'll be delivering it there. But we got it up and running. We'll see exactly how far 10 pigs bring us. Maybe in the future, if the sugar beet harvest goes well this year, and we can keep up on the pig food for pigs, maybe put down a bigger pig pen and actually get that production really going. But I think we need to let it run for a while, and I can't support that many pigs currently, at least until fall, it looks like. But what it looks like I am done here for the day. Let me just get past the intersection here for a second and past the speed limit sign, because I don't want to knock that down. Let me just go see anything popping up for nothing coming up for contracts. So yeah, I'm basically got my hands tied until April, it looks like. I mean, I'll fast forward to the day and keep my eyes open, see if any contracts coming up. I'm surprised there's no contracts for sowing the fields, because obviously spring is here and we can do a lot of planting, but apparently all the farmers are doing their own. We just got one more field to plant, which is corn, and we'll get that done in April. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always, and I'll catch you again right here in East Vineland. But until then, have a good one.